Hello, and welcome everybody to our Bundledocs webinar in association with Actionstep. Um, just before I get into the actual webinar, I just really want to quickly run through today's event program or the agenda. The very first thing I'll do in a minute is I'll introduce myself and Bundledocs and give us a quick overview of who we are and what Bundledocs is. I'll move on to updates in terms of what we've done since the last webinar that we've done with Actionstep, because there are things that have changed in the last year or so. The bulk of the program here tonight or today is about maximizing efficiencies for your practice. So for legal practices, it's all about saving time, making yourself more efficient, and therefore saving you money. A few conclusions, and then we just move on to questions and answers. And if anybody has any questions and answers of me, happy to take those, guys. So to begin with, who I am, my name is Brian Keneally. I'm the CEO of Bundledocs and one of the founders of Bundledocs. We produced the product a number of years ago. In terms of our background, as you probably gathered from the accent, I'm not local to you. We're based in Ireland. We're based in a place called Cork, which is in the south of Ireland. In terms of product spread, we're in something like 38 countries, 34, 38 countries across the globe. In terms of users, practices, I suppose, we have between 1,200 and 1,300 practices and legal government agencies across the world use the product. So we've expanded pretty rapidly, let's say, over the last couple of years. And the product is a cloud-based, simple product. So that's really where we're at today. In terms of the product itself, the first thing to note is we're a cloud-first development company. We originally went down the cloud first route and we've stuck with it. And so past development has always been cloud first, and future development will always maintain that. The real advantage of a cloud first policy for a product like Bundledocs or most cloud first policies is that we've the ability to partner with best of breed products across the globe. And therefore that's why we integrate with something like Actionstep. So it allows us seamless access with other best of breed products. And because it's cloud to cloud, it's really simple. The final thing, and it's an important item, is the fact that we're ISO 27001 accredited. That's really important, again, when you're dealing with cloud and when you're dealing with sensitive data. We take data security really seriously. So we are ISO 27001 accredited. In terms of Actionstep and Bundledocs updates, we did a webinar about a year ago and a number of changes have happened in the last year. And what I'll do is I'll quickly run through those, guys, to give you some idea. Now, I've just broken down into 3 bullet point items, let's say. The first thing is we've changed the integration to include emails. So now the integration between Actionstep and Bundledocs includes the ability of users to upload emails directly from Actionstep into Bundledocs. So you can search across emails across the full Actionstep platform or on a case-by-case basis. So that's the real update. Up to this was only documents. Now it's emails and documents. So you can get at any data inside the Actionstep repository directly into Bundledocs. So that's an important update. Other new feature releases from the product in the last year that I'm kind of touching on: cross-referencing. I mean, obviously, if any of you are involved in producing submission documents, skeleton arguments, witness statements where you're referring to exhibits, authorities, and you're basically creating hyperlinks or pinpoints, then there's a whole suite of cross-referencing features that we've built into the product that automates this process. Now, up to this, it's been a very laborious process, a very time-consuming process, and a process that's open to mistakes, let's say. So by automating, it makes the whole process easier. So just be aware that there's cross-referencing available now in Bundledocs. Support of PowerPoint files, we now support that. Up to this, you had to save your PowerPoint as a PDF and upload it into Bundledocs. Now you can just take it directly from your desktop or from anything and direct it directly into Bundledocs. The other thing we do, which is a nice little feature, is the ability to burst out emails and attachments. So if you have an email with a thread of conversations in that one particular email and you upload it directly, let's say from Actionstep into Bundledocs, you now have the ability to burst out those conversations into individual conversations. So let's say there's 15 threads in it, then you can produce 15 emails. And that's an important one, and it's used quite widely now. Other things that we've added, we've improved our custom indexing. So there's a whole range of features that you can add to our custom indexing. So you can basically customize anything in any style you want. And we always recommend that you do that. Bates numbering, the reason I put that down for New Zealand customers, we now integrate and we follow your New Zealand Superior Courts numbering protocol in terms of Bates numbering rules, in terms of list numbers, Bates numbers, and common bundle numbers. We do that now automatically as well. And the final thing I'll mention here is OCR functionality. The reason I mention that is we've updated our OCR engines in the last year, and we now can OCR across multiple languages. Virtually all languages are now OCR'd. The final thing I'll mention here is APAC storage. If you're working in the APAC region, then your data is stored directly. Now, as I said, we use Microsoft Windows Azure, but if you're in APAC, your data is now stored in Sydney and replicated in Melbourne, in Victoria. So just be aware of those 3 items. Integration is improved, lots of new features and releases, and your data is stored, let's call it locally. Now, the bulk of today's webinar really is about efficiency and firms improving efficiency, which leads to saving money, and it just saves time. And I want to show you really some of the kind of headline items that when you use a product like Bundledocs in conjunction with something like Actionstep, it does really improve the practice. And there are various things that I'll pick on to show you how it does improve efficiency. So the first thing is binder production. Now, the sweet spot of Bundledocs is about producing these electronic binders. I mean, that's originally where we came from, and that's what we do. I mean, the real idea is that you're taking what was once a manual process into something that's completely automated. So it obviously saves massive time, but it also saves on errors, on frustration, and it basically does stuff that users don't really want to do because it's not easy. So it takes these it creates these electronic binders instantly. Now, what it produces is an indexed, paginated, bookmarked, and hyperlinked bundle, and it just saves time. So what I might do here, and this is the only time I'll do it, is I'm going to skip out from my PowerPoint here, if you bear with me. And what I will do is I'll quickly go into Bundledocs, and what I want to do is very briefly, I don't want to demonstrate to you because it'll take too much time, but what I want to quickly show you is what Bundledocs produces. So if I just click this tab here, I've logged into Bundledocs, and as an example, if I go into one of my cases, let's say I go into my Michael James versus Peter Piper case. In the Bundledocs case, as I go into it, you can see, I have brief for counsel, I have pleadings, I have various folders, and in those folders, if I expand out, I've uploaded documents from Actionstep and emails, and I can do various things like move them around the place and do all sorts of stuff like that. But essentially, I have my documents. So I create my folders, I upload my documents, I generate my bundle, and I can distribute my bundle. But what I want to really show you now is just what it is we produce. So what I did a minute ago is I downloaded this bundle here. And what a bundle is, it's just a PDF document. Now, in Ireland and the UK and in Australia, when we produce a bundle, what it is just a single PDF of a bunch of documents sitting on top of each other with an index sitting on top. In New Zealand, the standard tends to be slightly different, but technically the same thing. Instead of one PDF, you have multiple PDFs sitting on top of each other with an index sitting on top again. Now, the constituent parts that make up this to be an electronic bundle are the following. So the first thing to note is that this is just a PDF. Now, you will customize your index, and again, with Bundledocs, you can customize the index in any style or format you want. So if you look at this particular style, this could be going to the High Court in Dublin, but you can have whatever style you want. Then below let's say my style here, I can also style or customize my actual index itself. In other words, I can decide on the amount of columns that appear, where they appear, and stuff like that. If you look here, I want my date column to appear, and I want it in column 3. I can do whatever I like. The next step up is pagination. Bundledocs automatically paginates every single document, but the style of pagination is up to us, the user. The standard technically for the standard for commercial lawyers tends to be consecutive numbering. So if I produce a commercial deal Bible, we tend to run consecutively. So the numbers will start at page number 1 and they'll run to infinity, let's say. In most areas of dispute, we tend to restart page numbering. So if you look here, page number 1 for my first section, and then it begins page number 1 at the next new section, and so on and so forth. In most areas of family law and employment law, the standard tends to be that we prefix the page number with the section letter. So this could be A1, section B, this will be B1, C1, etc. So just be aware in terms of pagination. Pagination is automatic, but you as a user can decide on what style of pagination you want for whatever case you're working on. So be aware of that. Each line item on the index then is an actual hyperlink to the actual document. So if I click on something like the entry of appearance, if I click on it, it is a hyperlink and it opens directly to that document. Now, in this bundle that I'm showing you, it's a single PDF. So when I click on that line item, it goes down to that page in that single PDF. For the New Zealand audience, if you click on the exact same line item, it simply opens it up as a PDF in the next tab here. So remember, they're all interrelated. It virtually acts exactly the same way. So beware of that. So each item is a hyperlink to the actual document. On the left hand side here, then what we do is we bookmark everything. So you can see my index is bookmarked and my subsequent sub-indexes are also bookmarked. So if I click on, say, section F, the engineer's report, if I click on it, it opens up my sub-index here on the right hand side. So you can see my sub-indexes from my engineer's report. Now, if I expand this out, each item in this index is also a bookmark. So everything is bookmarked. So you can see all these line items are bookmarked here. Now, typically over here in family law, we tend to add things like page numbers. We can also add dates. You can customize the bookmark in any way you want. It's automatic. But in reality, these bookmarks are just hyperlinks to the actual documents. So if I click on the engineer's report, it opens up directly, or the survey, or the photos. So remember, bookmarks are also hyperlinks to the actual document, and we tend to navigate quickly and easily through our bookmarks. The final thing we can do here, and it's worth explaining because bundles have got bigger and bigger, and what courts are now asking in this part of the world anyway is they will say to you that they want you to optimize the bundle before you lodge it in court or whatever. And what they're asking when they say optimization is that they want you basically to see if you can make the bundle smaller. And what we do with Bundledocs is we take your documents, let's say from Actionstep, you upload them into Bundledocs. If any of those documents have what's known as a DPI rating, or a dots per inch rating of over 300 DPI, we can reduce it to 300 DPI. So the net effect is that the bundle you produce when it's optimized is smaller, but the real effect is that when you navigate, especially large bundles, it's much quicker to navigate. So just be aware of that. So essentially, when you produce a bundle in Bundledocs, what you're actually producing is a customized, indexed, paginated, hyperlinked, searchable, because you must be able to search the content. Remember, we OCR everything, bookmarked bundle that you can optimize if you want. So just be aware of that. So that's the constituent part of what we're trying to produce in Bundledocs. So if I step back into my PowerPoint presentation, and let's move on with where we're at. So up to this, we've spoken about how we maximize efficiency with the binder production process. So the obvious one is that because the process is virtually instant, it produces this style of bundle in virtually no time compared to what it did do. Like I know we've produced bundles of say 2 gigabyte bundles, and when you go to generate, they generate in something like 20 minutes or half an hour. So it saves hours and hours of time. And the real advantage we would find with that is because it's so quick and it's so easy, then changes are easy. So as life goes on, the bundle progresses, life goes on, you upload more documents. So the real efficiency is that at any stage, you can add more documents, click a button, everything is reorganized, everything is reindexed, everything is repaginated, the whole thing works really quickly and easily. So you have that advantage. In other words, you shouldn't have to burn the midnight oil. Change is made easy. The other thing you can do is a thing called late inserting. And late inserting is where you produce a bundle and you send it to interested parties. Say you could have a hearing next week and you send that bundle out to interested parties. But what happens after you sent it out is that more documents come in. And these are what's known as late insert documents. With Bundledocs, you now know that you have the ability to add those documents, but if you mark them as late insert documents, it means that you can create what's known as subnumbering documents. So when you place them into any part of into your correspondence or your reports section, and you mark them as late inserts, Bundledocs will automatically create sub-number documents. So it won't interfere with the original number documents that you may have previously sent out to, say, the other side or to whoever. So just be aware of that. So there's true efficiency in just the binder production alone, and be aware of that. So moving on from binder production, the next area of efficiency that we'd mark out is that once you've produced the bundle, traditionally we downloaded it, we printed it, we emailed it, we did various things with it. What we're saying with Bundledocs is you can securely share now these bundles. So the idea is that You produce a bundle regardless of whether it's 100 documents or 1,000,000 documents, or it's 10 megabyte or 5 gigabyte. The idea is that you know now you can securely share. How we securely share in Bundledocs is we can forward that bundle as a hyperlink. So it's a secure hyperlink that you can send to any third party. So whether it's the other side, whether it could be to your cost draftsman, it could be to your client, to the court, or whatever. And because you're securely sharing as a hyperlink, you're not being restricted by the size of the bundle you've produced. You simply send an email with that secure link. The recipient receives the email. Once they click on the link, once they enter a password, it downloads directly to their desktop. And the other advantage is that they don't need any software to do it. You're basically sending them a PDF. But the key factor and the key efficiency of it is that you're doing it from within Bundledocs, but you're also sending it as a hyperlink, so you're not getting stressed out over the size of the bundle you're producing and trying to email it, let's say, as an attached document. Now, you can do that as well if you want, or you can split the bundle into constituent parts if you want, but you don't have to. We would say the most efficient way of doing it is securely share your bundle, forward it directly via Bundledocs as a hyperlink. The recipient clicks it and it downloads directly onto their desktop. The next area of efficiency that's worth touching on is what I'd call remote collaboration. Up to this, the idea of collaboration, if you're dealing with accounts or anybody, was you produce the bundle, you sent it, whether you forward it or you sent it via email, and that's how you sent it, they reviewed it. Now with Bundledocs, again, using the pure power of cloud, is you've now the ability to invite outside parties to collaborate on particular bundles if you want. Now, the idea is that you send out an invite. They don't need software. They don't need anything for it. They simply accept the invite. You're inviting them onto the platform. They get access to the case that you've invited them onto, but you have full access control. In other words, you control what access they have. So let's say you want counsel to review a particular case. Traditionally, you would have sent them a bundle. Now, if you want, you can get them to log on remotely. In other words, remote collaboration. But you will restrict their access levels. So you can have very low level restrictions so they can access the bundle in a read-only fashion, which means they can preview every single document, they can read everything, they cannot make changes, they can't take away copies of documents. It's pure read-only, but you can allow them annotate, so they can add notes and comments because they're reviewing the file. So that's quickly and easily able to do it. You can also up the let's say the access control that they have. You could make it read only, but that they can take away individual copies. But you can also actually work with people outside the office. So you could work with somebody and give them full control of the bundle. Now, we mightn't recommend it, but you have the ability to do it. The key factors to note when you're remotely collaborating is the bundle never moves. You've complete control over the bundle. It's one bundle. It's in one location. It doesn't move. You invite them onto the platform. You can invite anybody, any third party from outside the practice, whether it's colleagues or, well, obviously colleagues, but anybody, your client, opposing counsel, anybody, and you have full control over the level of access that you're giving them on this bundle. The key factor is that you're not providing a copy to them, you're inviting them on and allow them access it quickly and easily. Now, the final thing I'll touch on in terms of maximizing efficiency really is integration and cloud to cloud. Now, I mentioned at the very start that Bundledocs, we've always followed a cloud first policy. It's worked well for us. We're glad we did it and we'll continue to do it. And I also know that Actionstep have a cloud first policy. And the real beauty of that is that we can take these two products and basically click them together because they're both cloud first products. The integration, it's virtually seamless. And there's no installing, there's no preparing. If you want to integrate Actionstep with Bundledocs, you just click on a link, you type in your credentials, you have full access to each platform. And that's really great efficiency. There's no installing, there's no overhead. It's seamless. So you have a fully integrated solution doing nothing to do it. So that kind of sums up really today's webinar. And what I would say is that if anybody would like a demonstration of Bundledocs where I can go through in obviously fine detail how the product works, how we produce these efficiencies, if you want to touch on any of the items that I touched on today, please do make contact. We'd love to demonstrate to you. Like, my name is Brian. It's brian@bundledocs.com is how you can contact me. But we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to demonstrate the product to you, show you how it'll work, show you how you can maximize efficiencies for your firm. So what I'll do now is, before we break up, I'll lead into any questions and answers that you may have, and happy to take any questions. Thanks again. Quick questions that have come in, and let me call. I'll pick on the easiest one first. Is there a cost to have integration with Actionstep? There's a quick answer to that. No, it's free, yeah, and it's automatic. Can I edit a PDF in Bundledocs? That's an interesting one. It depends what you mean by editing a PDF. If you upload a document into Bundledocs, it converts to a PDF. When we mention the word edit, what we actually mean is, let's say you upload a letter and it says, "Dear John," to edit a PDF, you want to change the word John to Jack or whatever. So in Bundledocs, you cannot edit. But what you can do is you can manipulate. So with the PDF document that you've uploaded, you can rotate pages, you can reorder pages, you can delete pages, you can split the PDF up into various PDFs, or you can merge, and you can also do things like DSQ. So you have the ability to manipulate but not edit. And just be aware on that, there's a whole suite of annotations built in as well. So you can obviously redact, you can add comments, highlights, hyperlinking, pinpointing. So again, the answer is no, it is not a PDF editor, but you can manipulate. We sometimes need to add videos to our binder. Is this possible? To add videos, yes, you can. We'll take multimedia, movie files, video files. Bundledocs will produce those, no problem. So you can upload them, and you can produce bundles that contain those files. It's quite typical now in family law that you might have CCTV footage and things like that. So yes, you can use those non-PDF files. Is the person who set up the Bundledocs and has the control leaves the firm? Can that control be reassigned? Yes. Internally in a practice, you have what's known as an administrator who looks after the product, but that administrator can change. So somebody has to have over control of the product internally in the practice. But if that administrator changes, we can reassign the administrator and they can keep control. So yes, you can. One final question: do you offer a free trial if we want to trial it with our teams? Yes, obviously we push you on a free trial. It's simple. We offer a full unlimited 30-day trial, and we'll set that up for anybody who wants to trial it out, and we'd say absolutely no problem. Is it simple? I'll just keep calling out these out as they come in. Is it simple to upload all emails to the bundle, and how would they be sorted? One of the things you can do in Bundledocs is you can display a date column. The date column it displays is the last edit date, with an email, it will just pick on emails. It's the sent or the received date of the email that's uploaded. So if you want to order, there's an order button. So if you fire up, say, 100 emails and you want to chronologically order those, it takes about 1 second. So regardless, because it'll sort them by date, time in seconds. So it's really, really fast. And a lot of employment lawyers will use that, where they upload hundreds of emails and they simply click one button, the whole thing is reordered. That's any other questions? That's about it on the questions side. And from my side, I just want to say thanks again to Actionstep and to you all for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the session. Now, if any of you have any questions or would like more on Bundledocs and or integration with Actionstep, then do please contact me. Again, my name is Brian. It's brian@bundledocs.com. Thanks again and have a nice day.